One tip for you, when you point a flute towards the camera, it doesn't look right. I learned this from the shift class. I would show everyone how to stretch. Yep. And then they taught me to do this because they didn't realize it looks really weird like this, right? It looks like someone's coming at you. I experienced that with the end of your flute. It was like, whoa. So what I've learned is to turn sideways. Yep. Little tweaking things that we learn.
Yeah, I felt like that's a really long flute too, and I'm like, but I like to play it online, so I'm like, what do I do?
No,
So
I think it's great
yeah.
for you to stand sideways. Just try it now. Stand sideways with it and say, you can put your flutes here in this flute. You know, you can put your intentions here. These are small things, but it really makes an impact visually on this people that are watching you.
Makes total sense to me.
Yeah, and you put your camera down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. That made such a difference. I felt so, go ahead, do that again. So look at the difference in her showing this.
Here is the side of the flute.
So much better.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then.
That is really long flute.
Yeah, it is.
Good. I just had to mention those things because, you know, these are things I'm learning. Okay. So I wanted to share a little bit of teaching today about internal marketing. And then I want to turn it over to hear people's accountability reports on what you've been working on and how that improvement is coming. This is our final scheduled session, unless this group wants to continue, which some people are saying, would they be interested in? I'm up for that. So we're just the group that won't stop. I love it. I apologize I didn't get the email out sooner to remind everyone of today, so I apologize about that. I'll be better at getting that reminder out in the future. Let's see, call tonight. I got it right here. Okay, so thank you everybody for giving some feedback to Grace about the cancellation fees. I'm really glad that topic came up. My own personal experience with cancellations has been, you know, I woke up to the need for a contract because of a cancellation that I didn't plan on. You know, who obviously plans on a cancellation? I mean, I didn't have a contract and they canceled and I had flown to Ohio. They covered my flight, but they didn't pay me a fee because I didn't have a contract. And that's the beginning. This is years ago. And that's when I got an agent. That's when I just said, I can't keep up. I'm not good at this. I need to hire this out. But, you know, John Crowder is somebody who does great with contracts. He manages all his own contracts. And you might want to pipe in on this, John. And I know Carol shared her contract because you were right to ask for a cancel fee. But I don't know if you had that in your prior contract. Yeah. So yeah, just now you got a good lesson to just pop over a memo of agreement. Anybody else want to say anything about that, cancellation fees? Yeah, go ahead. You can unmute, right? Oh, here, I got you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. So the topic is interesting because I just had one happen with me that I worked in this corporate programs book for November 13th. They gave me a solid book or confirmation, and I gave them two options. I gave them one option with myself and a support drummer, and then a second option, a higher fee option with two support drummers, and they went for the higher fee option. And they just emailed me on Friday and said they had to cancel it because of budget tightening at the end of the year. It hurt. So I went through the proposal process and everything else, and the woman here in the local, it's a Fortune 500 company, and the fee was about $4,500. And, yeah, exactly. So, but this is what I wanted to mention too. So what I also did was so first of all, they're liable for any non-refundable expenses, anything you spent in reliance upon the contract or the agreement. So from a legal standpoint, they would be liable for that. We didn't have anything, so so that's good. It just kind of works out. But yeah, I hadn't sent them a contract. And typically on this sort of thing, I just work with an invoice, but I have all the details of an invoice. But an invoice is also a contract too. Shows a meeting of the minds. It is a contract. So, but you can put terms on there too if they're cancellation fees. And I think Carol, I saw your email about your cancellation fee. So, and you can do a signed contract. I do a signed contract sometimes. Sometimes people request that. So I like to try. I used to be a lawyer. I did a lot of business work. I try to keep my signed contract simple and to no more than 1 to 2 pages. So just for everybody. But the other thing I want to talk about that I did with this one is I sent the client, she was apologetic, and she really likes it and wanted to do it, but I suggested and said, hey, we're all booked for it. Is there still a way to do something? We might do something either at a shorter time frame and a reduced fee, or we might do something at a lower fee and partial in-kind compensation, such as refer us to 3 potential clients, or give us permission to shoot video or take photos. And she came back this morning and said, that's interesting. We might be able to do something at a shorter time frame. I don't know. I'm working on the agenda now. So I just sent her 2 options. One was a 15 to 20 minute option with boom whackers, which I have done with groups at a much lower fee. And then I sent her a 30-minute option with boom whackers, and then an activity where I bring up some people, about 10 people, to come play drums with us. And then everybody gets other percussion and plus 10 handheld drums. So it's like an abbreviated, shortened version of the hour-and-a-half program, and gave that at a slightly higher fee, but it was, considerably less than what the original fee was at. So trying to make lemonade out of lemons.
I know. I love this story. Wow, creative. So creative.
And both of the options that I gave her, we have done both of the options well with companies. And I told her on the second one, the 30-minute option, we specifically did that with a group of 250 and a group of 275. They each had like a full day meeting, and they had experienced the bigger company had experienced, Vail Resorts had experienced our hour 15-minute program, and then they wanted something shorter to do with their leadership retreat up at Breckenridge. And so I had figured out how to propose like a 30-minute option. And I also had somebody, a business consultant, kind of in team building, areas and stuff, say, give them kind of a Chinese menu with like 3 options. Like, here's the big option, here's the medium option, here's the shorter, lower price version option.
Yeah.
And so I've done that.
Great.
That's somewhat, this client specifically wanted a 1 to 2 hour team building program. So I just worked with that initially. I didn't give them the shorter one. So I've sent those options to her. Don't know where it's going to land, but
thank you, John.
I think they're really good options, and I also tried to listen to her. And the time slot she slotted me into was kind of pushing into lunch, so a shorter option might actually be better for them anyhow.
That is an awesome example. Thank you.
We'll see what happens. I don't know, but I hope we get something out of it.
Thank you.
So,
I mean, that's something I hadn't even thought of, Grace, is to like actually contact them and just go, what has been the barrier to booking this thing, and how can we work around it, and what are some other things I can construct for you? So yeah, good. Oh, good. Lulu, you're here.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I actually have from Jonathan Murray. He sent me his contract years ago, and it does have a stipulation that, that there is a definite fee, and it was the right 150, 180 for cancellation.
So do you guys all have contracts then that you use regularly? Yeah. Sorry. Maybe I'm just so new to this that I haven't been doing it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have a contract. You just
send an invoice.
I'm the same as you, John. Mine's just a 1-page memo of agreement.
Mine too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it really, my big struggle has been some gigs I do, they don't pay for beyond 30 days. So just having it really clear. I never thought of combining it with the invoice. It's a very interesting thought. I've always done the invoicing separate from the memo of agreement.
And that's what mine's on.
Yeah, I like to detail, can I sell books? Who's going to help me, So yeah, looks like it's time to get a contract. That's what it is. And then usually a cancellation fee, like I said, is a percentage.
Okay.
But, within a certain parameter of time, you could stipulate.
I'm getting ready to upgrade mine because I had one. Well, it's a school system, and I always have to chase the money. I'm always having to remind them they owe me money, and can you look into this? And so my husband said, So you should be putting a clause in your agreement for a late fee. Give them a certain amount of time, but there should also be a late fee attached. Maybe then I don't have to chase the money all the time.
Yep.
What I do is on my invoice, when I send it to them, they know that they have to pay it that day or before.
Oh, good.
So I don't allow for any extension. Maybe that's terrible, but because I got burnt too many times and just didn't get the fees. So
I've never had that happen. Hospitals always pay 30 days. They're never going to pay me the day I show up. It's 30 days. School systems depends. Usually I get paid right away, and sometimes I get paid before I show up. But there's one group that, this is twice now I've had to get on them. So I will start putting that on there for that policy, just so maybe then they'll understand that, okay, if you go past 30 days, this is how much money you owe me.
Excellent. I think there's something deeper to comment on here. And then we'll move to the next topic. But one deeper thing to talk about here is John said, take lemons, make lemonade. It's bigger than just the financial side of it. He's actually showing the client that let me try to help work within your, parameters. I think this is big because this is like his consciousness is not, oh, I lost the gig, shit.
Yeah.
That's part of it too.
Okay. Part of his
That
consciousness.
was the first response.
But now he's at a place where he's like, I think you model this lemonade thing for your client and for all of us. That your thinking went to that is very, very creative. I wanted to just say, I wouldn't have gone like, oh, why not call the client and discuss, what are the barriers? Could we pare down the program if it's about cost? Can I do it in half of the time? Can I, can I cut it back somehow for you? Can we do a body percussion program? Could we do a shake your face off shaker program? And if you haven't thought of that yet, Grace, that is coming for you, because I'm just going to take 1 second to screen share this photo of Grace's homepage, because not everybody got to see this, but her accomplishment this month.
Oh, yay.
Her shake your face off shakers up. And I love that they're in a little box that has the, RDA nutritional requirement. These are her seasonal shakers.
Oh.
And then we'll come back to this because I want to talk about that video you want to make, because everybody can learn from that. But just to finish this concept of what a great demonstration for all of us that lemonade making is bigger than just, a gig that falls through. It's like actually having the consciousness of maybe I need to change what I'm offering to them that can fit better with them. I mean, I think you made a lot of leaps and gains with that approach. I wouldn't have thought of that. So thank you.
Can I mention 2 points?
Quickly.
Okay. One, I just got the card reader to be able to take credit card payments, because I have had clients specifically say, can we pay you, what do you prefer? I said, oh, we prefer a check because we don't incur fees. Oh, we could pay you by credit card right now. So to have a little card reader with you with your phone that you can take it at the program, you can get paid quickly with the kind of clients I've worked with. Second, I worked with the University of Colorado Hospital for over 11 and a half years, and people told me, oh yeah, they don't pay for 45 to 60 days. I worked it out with them when I got paid every 2 to 3 weeks, and they were pretty steady, and they knew I was on top of them, and I knew I was respectful and kind, but I knew the accounts receivable people. They knew who I was. I would call them and follow up and check, if it were 30 days, 31 days, I'd call them. And hey, just checking on that payment. They knew it. And also the assistants who were processing the invoices, they knew it too. So they were helpful. And being a steady client. So and I talked to them specifically, how can we make this more efficient? What can I do to help you, et cetera, et cetera. And we got pretty good in terms of, it was about every 2.5 to 3 weeks I got the check. So
thank you. And that's a great suggestion about credit cards for sure. I mean, you can do it on Square.
Yeah,
I just have Square up on my phone. And Square gives you a swiper. Yeah. And yeah, you lose a little fee. You know what? I did have a gig where they paid me by credit card, $5,000. And then they said, please add the credit card processing fee.
Yeah.
And that was nice, 2.5%. So these are all great suggestions. So Grace wants to make a video for her product. I would like to bring this to the group. Internal marketing. what would be important? You can unmute yourselves. We're going to look at her picture. What would you want to see in the video that sells this product? And like I said, you definitely need to have a shake your face off icebreaker program that you could sell. Or emotional processing, you know, however you want to tag this into the more special needs kind of arena. So what would you guys see in her video? Any comments? Yes, go. Aren't you unmuted?
I think we're all unmuted, aren't we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Naive.
I would, if you have a good video editor that could even have those things like little characters shaking at first, so we see them somewhere early on. And then the happy kids or whoever, you know, and maybe one or two of those different things you were saying at the beginning, Grace, about the swirls and all that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
think
definitely
Damon is-
activities that we can do. I mean, showing the activities in motion. Oh, did it?
How would you want to see that, Lulu?
You know, the guy that did one of my videos is fantastic, and he sort of layered some of them on top of the other. But you know, they weren't. It wasn't just one activity. He did one, and then he brought in another one on the side and another one. So you could. It was like 3 activities, but you could see the different things that were going on
With a group.
Yeah, with a group.
Okay.
I just got my choir to come and do it, and they did it.
Okay. Damon?
I don't know if this was said. My initial thought was, I mean, this is such a genius product, but if you had it animated, like animated characters with the shakers talking and then people shaking it, of course, that would be a lot of money probably to create that. But I mean,
My son can do that actually.
That's kind of what
Builds
I
video
was,
games.
that's kind of what I was aiming for.
That's
I
what I
bet he
thought
can
you
do that.
were.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
said it much more clearly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be incredible. And I think it would sell like hotcakes to
Yeah.
kind of term, but like, you know, kids and adults both involved, like have it animated with humans. I mean, animation and interacting with humans, a shaker interacting with humans, talking to humans, both adults and to kids. And as I'm saying this, I'm saying they could even, you know, be talking about the benefits. The actual eggs themselves are talking about the benefits of it. It makes you happy or rhythmic and whatever it is, musical, that the shakers themselves are actually saying what it will do for you, both adults and kids.
Hey, good ideas.
Mhm.
We're all coming up with great B-roll, as we call it, but we also need a moment where Grace does what she did for us that were here early on the call, where she was like, oh, look, this one is with Chris. What do you call it? Something crystal?
It's crushed quartz.
Crushed quartz. And then she's like, and this one even sounds different. And there was a feeling I had while you were doing it, like there's your video. So that clip is good too, where you say, the reason I created this is, hi, I'm Grace, and I'm the founder of
Saving Grace Rhythms.
Saving Grace Rhythms, and I created this product. And because, one sentence, and listen to the difference between this, this, and this. And then we're back to the group. I agree. It's the weaving, like a typical video is a weave between the fun, interactive group playing, or now we've got these little animated ones that her son can make, fabulous. And then we go to her and she speaks, and then we see a little clip of the group, and then we hear her voice. That's a very typical, very nice product style. We keep hearing your voice talk about the product and what it does, and we see a video. And then we come back to the end where you just go, and the reason I call it shake your face off is, you know, we have a lot of emotions. We carry them all. And it's time to release those feelings. And that's why we shake it off in this game, whatever. You know, and you notice one thing about me that I've practiced for years is the way you do a soundbite. You deliver it that way. There's a music to a soundbite, right? It comes up and it ends on a down. The reason I created the shake your face off shakers is because we all handle these emotions all day long, but sometimes we just hang on to them, and this allows people to release what no longer serves them. You can hear me coming to the end of my cadence, right?
Mhm.
So this is the Soundbite 101 cadence.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, everybody.
Anybody else? Carol, you want to show people your product?
Oh yeah, this is something I am working on. This is a paintable drum. I'm marketing it as a kit for kids. It's covered with a canvas. My grandson, this is his masterpiece, and it has what I use on it is a shrink wrap that they use to cover boats. But I wanted a way. My friend Steve Turner, you know him. He does paint. He does drums with some middle schoolers, but they're wooden drums with goat skin, and they're like $150 a piece for that. And I wanted to do something very affordable. The parents could buy something for their child. They could make it their own work of art, and I would basically send them the entire drum with the canvas ready to go. All they have to do is paint it. And I'm trying to keep the price point at $49.
Wow.
And that still leaves me room to go wholesale.
Ah, congratulations. What's the name of this product?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay, let's see if we can get some mastermind brainstorming.
Yeah, because, you know, Remo has a paintable drum.
Called Art Beat.
Yeah, the Art Beat. But it's a little pricey, and their drums are a lot more expensive. So I really wanted to do something that schools, if a school wanted to do something like that, and make it extremely expensive, if someone really wants to put it all together themselves, I can send them all the pieces. But I can do it pretty quickly now. I've got templates made, and I'm also now working on that's a 10-inch head. I'm working on a 12-inch one that the Remo rhythm lid can fit on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because Remo, guess what? That video I did with the 2 buckets, yeah, John Fitzgerald saw it and he said, can Remo post that on their site? And I said, yeah.
Great. All right, let's just take a moment before we go to the next topic and see if anybody has a name for this product. Hold it up while we get creative on the mastermind call tonight. Throw out our ideas.
This is not the greatest originality in the world, but it just comes to mind. The paint-a drum.
Oh my God, you didn't think of that. That's great.
That is good.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm thinking like Damon today. It's like the painted drum or paint your drum.
Mm-hmm. Lulu?
Well, I haven't got a name at the rates yet, but I just want to tell you that I just suggest that it would be great in care facilities as well, Carol. I mean, because you have an art project and then you have a drum circle, and it's just so great that.
Perfect. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I was just at this conference and with all these people, 975 people that are all interested in, you know, doing stuff with the elderly, and they just need innovative stuff and innovative things, and this would be great.
Thank you.
So paint a drum. I was thinking color your drum. I know it's obvious. Mm-hmm. Color your beat.
I was also thinking of the name Child's Play.
No.
It's a horror movie name.
It's too limiting in your market.
Yeah.
I do
think that's true.
I think adults might make one of these with a beautiful canvas on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Good. Well, thank you. Now I'm going to hit a little bit of content now and mute you all. And then we're going to check in and hear how everybody's doing with their progress. How does that sound for a structure for the next few minutes? Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
And we're going to go down the row and hear the update on everything everybody committed to last month, which was awesome. I really wanted to share my thoughts about internal marketing tonight today. Oh, that's a nice one. Rhythm art. I didn't even think of that. This is great. Keep the ideas coming. Carol, I hope you're writing them all down, right? And I'm going to mute everybody while I yak away. So I finished my 7-week course at Shift Network, the Awaken Your Healing Rhythms. So it was a great success, 500 students from 37 countries. So as I put that one down, a couple things I learned. First thing I learned is that in all adult classes, Naya, you and I have talked about this, at the final session of a subscription, big attendance drop, right? So the day before at the class, I went on, and I have not done this much, but I pushed myself. I played my edge, as we are all doing, and I did a Facebook Live on the page for my class, which about 300 people belong to. And I did a Facebook Live, and I said, even if you haven't been to a single class yet, you're welcome to come to this. It's going to be a phenomenal, it's a standalone class. I just realized I needed publicity. I had to do internal publicity for my own class. And we had 25% of people on the call, and they say usually they have much less than that, like 10%, 15% by the end. So that was one tip I learned. The second thing is internal marketing. What do I mean by that? What do you think of when I say internal marketing? So external marketing is, publicity, getting promotion, being on Facebook, we're kind of getting out into the world. Internal publicity. Lulu just came back from a conference where she was a speaker, right? 2 sessions she did. And so she has internal marketing, which is she can send back to the conference organizer. Here's 5 great comments I received in my workshops. Now, everybody says to me, hey, I don't have to do an evaluation. The conference does it. And I always say, don't wait for them. I think I waited 3 months for the feedback from UCLA Arts and Healing Expressive Arts Therapy Conference. Don't wait for them. You want to do the 3x5 cards, do whatever your comment card is, and then email it to your client. Always, always, always when you can. And this is internal marketing. This is why I'm going to get booked next week at the same yoga studio, because Damon puts out the send me your feedback, or text it to this number, or let me just turn on my phone and everybody can walk by and talk on the way. We can be creative. We're the artists, within reason. We can turn our voice memo on and go, I'm just going to turn on my voice memo. And if anybody wants to come by and make a statement, just grab my phone and talk on the phone, and I'll listen to it later. There's so many tools now to get feedback that we can just forward those messages to our clients. That is internal marketing. One of my major clients that I'm always doing internal marketing to is Remo. So I just realized I wanted to walk you through this process that I just went through with the Healing Rhythms closure. I call it closing the file. And this is a metaphysical principle, is that if we don't close something, we don't make space for something new. So even though, of course, I hope to do more with the Shift Network, I'm closing that file. I do a closing file meeting with my assistant. And in this case, she wasn't in the office. We did it on virtual with a Google Doc, shared Google Doc. And I go through a simple process. What worked? What could I have improved on? Just think of a gig you recently did. Lulu can think of this conference she was at. This could be every session you're running, Nai, or working with one specific client. It depends on if it's for me, it was a subscription for 7 sessions. So what did I do well? What worked? And I could not believe in this process I did, there was 20 bullet points of good things that came through that were excellent, that I learned. And there was 5 things that I could have improved on. Then we went through and we grabbed testimonials that were floating around in all kinds of places, in my emails, in my Facebook. Shift is going to do all of this. They're going to do a full-on survey, but I'm not waiting for them. So I gathered all the feedback that I had received. And then I think the 4th thing I did is I sat down. This was time consuming and tedious. And I thanked everyone I could think of that was part of that course. I sent an email to the people that gave me an audio track for the fast action bonus. I sent an email to Remo, but it wasn't just an email. So I asked everybody on my final call, this takes planning. This is post-event marketing, internal marketing planning. On my last call, I asked everybody on the Zoom call to hold up their drum and smile. And I sent that screenshot to Remo team, because almost all the drums were Remo drums. Buffalo drums, frame drums, festival djembes. And so I sent that on the email thanking Remo. Here's a screenshot of my class. You know what I mean? In the gallery view, right? And I did the same thing at UCL Arts and Healing. I did a webinar for them last weekend, and I did the same thing. I asked everyone permission. Let's smile on the count of 3. I'm now doing this because then I send it in the post, thanking them. They get to see their picture. And then next year when we promote this webinar, internal marketing. I want to keep this client, UCLA Arts and Healing, to do these webinars twice a year. I make about 450 on these. They're about 2 hours of teaching, but I also meet all these people that might join the mentoring program next year because I give them a discount. You know, this is how it works. We're in front of a certain audience. What are we upselling, we call it, you know? So then we bring in, how have I connected these dots? How have I let these people know? You know, how do I stay in front of them in a thank you kind of way? How do I thank Remo? They sent me drums for the shoot. You know, really, it should be them thanking me. And we all know that. I mean, I did more to publicize them with 9,000 people on my intro call, right? Targeted marketing, but they don't email me thank yous. They don't. That's how the clients are. They're not going to be thanking us like they should. It's our job to do the internal marketing, to thank them, to keep in front of them, to keep letting them know what we did, how it went. I included a couple testimonials, you know, and gave them statistics because most corporate people are auditory digital. They like numbers. So this is closing the file. This is closing an event that has happened and thinking ahead of what we want to stage and what we need that for, right? So I need more pictures of a group on Zoom. So that is how I got that, is asking for that class photo, which I put on Facebook. So I go as much as I can above and beyond. I want to aspire to excellence. It pushes me and I learn. And none of the things that stand out for the Shift Network are the things that I was required to do. What stands out for them, because we did a debrief after my internal debrief, we sent them our internal debrief summary. They were so impressed. When I said, I'm sending out my internal staff debrief, here you go. They were so impressed, and we did a call the next day with the director of course managers and me, and they kept saying what really stands out for us is what you do that's beyond what's required, that you made a video of all the drum images from Facebook, that you did this and this and this. I don't do them for any reason but the creative artist that I am. I saw the beautiful images of the drum and I thought, I want to make this video scroll and feature all the drums. And then I put that out to them as a closing gift. So why? Because, you know, you can talk about upselling people, but I've been to so many seminars, it pisses me off now, where at the very end, it's going to be the sales pitch and it's going to take 30 minutes. And it's the usual dance. It's the usual dog and pony show. It's like, what do you call that? It's like they're up at the stage going, I only have room for 20 people. You got to run to the back of the room right now. It's the whole rigmarole. It's $500 off today only. I get it. My choice, and I'm looking at happening in this kind of new consciousness of the work we do, is I want to give a gift and say, hey, I'll let you know when the next thing is coming. Please join the email list. Here's a gift. So however we upsell or make that exchange, I did also work out a deal with Shift that I got to give a coupon for 50% off my online class on how to facilitate healing drum circles. And my contract with them is I have to give 50% back to Shift. But fine, we sold, I don't know, 6 courses. So that's $600. So we split that. Passive income, they get 300, we get 300. So these partners, and they didn't even ask me for that. I was the one who said, I've reread the contract, I'm sending you the check. So these are the ways that we do internal marketing to where we're, number one, I put on the list that I sent you, gathering, here, I'll put this in the side bar because it went out on the email. That number one, why didn't that go out? There it is. Number one, what marketing materials can I be gathering from this source? 2, how do we ask for testimonials? 3, how do we market the repeating program? like Damon, I've been saying, you know, like you take a picture of you in a yoga studio. Most groups I'm with, I stage it. Takes 1 minute to say to the group, can I have your permission to take a quick photo? And it turns out when we drum, we frown because we're concentrating. I learned this from a photographer friend of mine. My God, Lulu has these incredible shots in senior home. When she sent them to me, I was floored. They are stunning. Yeah. So you say to people, we're going to take a couple pictures just for me. Thank you so much, because I want other people to know the joy of what you're experiencing right now. We don't want to be over the top marketing, but just with all humility, could you help me? So how do we get that image for our repeating programs? It's not always the people, and it could be the way that Grace put those shakers into that, you know, pretty picture she took. Like it could be his drums sitting out in a corporate boardroom. John would put his drums in a nice mandala on the table next to the water and the note-taking things. Like that would be hilarious. I would say a million things, and he doesn't need anyone to do that. No permission required, you know, or the drums sitting in the center of a yoga studio with yoga mats around them. You know, these are things we can stage quite easily. Or Nai, who's doing this online coaching, to ask everybody in the group to hold up their pen and paper and journal, and she takes a shot. And I call this the class photo. And you send it to everybody, but then you ask, can I use this in promotion? Because it's powerful to see the gallery view. Everybody's holding up their pen. It's like, wow. Here, I'll show you the picture. I'll screen share it real quick because I think it's relevant to what we're talking about. Oh, yeah. 1 second. It's tricky to remember how to screen share with you all. Okay. I'll do it later. It's throwing me off. But I'll show you the picture. So yes, it's just a screenshot from Zoom in gallery mode. So everybody knows how to do gallery mode right now? Here, let me show you how to do this. Okay, can I ask the group for a photo? Does everybody agree to that? Okay, first we're gonna unmute ourselves so I don't get any red lines on my photo.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, great. So this is our class shot. Oh, you can't unmute yourself?
Oh,
Sorry.
there. Sorry.
There it is. I got it.
All right, does anybody have a drum they want to hold up for the picture or an instrument?
Yeah.
Hold up.
Hang on. I'll go get one.
How about that one?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a great shot. Look at how much you're all smiling right now, just because of this activity. Oh, Grace.
What?
She's got Santa Claus.
Rudolph.
Like,
Yeah.
And one of my poo emoji.
okay, so on the count of 3, everybody say yay. 1, 2, 3, yay.
Yay.
Got it. Okay, so then we just shot the photo. I should be able to share my desktop.
I've been wanting to do that for the poster.
Yeah. Ah, found it. Nope, it's not working. I'll send the picture out. So anyway, this is what we do, and it takes no time. Didn't take any time at all. And people have fun with it. You remember every retreat you go to and they go, we're going to take a picture. Everybody gets all excited, right? So this is how we gather marketing materials in the event we're in. So yeah, Nai, that would be a really good thing for you to then put on your enrollment page. And you stage it with, let's all get a journal and a pen.
It's time to do it now because one person said no last year. He's out of town for 3 weeks, so I'm on it.
Yeah. It's not hard if one person says no.
They can just turn their camera off.
That's right. It's actually easier than anything. Look, I'm a no.
Yeah.
So that's actually really easy to accommodate people. And most people don't have a photo there. They just have their name, right?
Yeah.
So the last thing is how to market a repeating program. You do want to kind of think to yourself, Lulu, at the end of the conference, I'm thinking of all the examples I can of all of your work. Carol, lots of work that she does this way. You think at the end of the event, what do I sell? How am I doing this? You saw me at the beginning of our call say it's our final call unless we want to continue. And it's a word in the business is upsell. But I kind of think of it more as a continuous maintaining, my relationship with the client, because repeat gigs are way easier than finding new clients. They are so important and valuable. My work is getting down to like 3 clients now. It's like really nice because I have deep relationships with all of them. After the Soul of Yoga, I taught a Soul of Yoga weekend training for their new Sound Healing Institute in Encinitas. And I could just be like, whatever, that was fun. I mean, I know the gal who set it up. I live in this town. But no, I called her up and I said, I'd like to have a debrief lunch. It's on me. And we just, in that 1 hour, I wrote up the document. I sent it to her afterwards. It just solidified. Now they called me out of nowhere and asked me to teach next year in July, a weekend of advanced. So this is how we make relationships that don't feel like we're selling people. We never want that. And I wasn't coming from that. I really was coming from, I want to learn from you what I did well. I want to learn what I can improve on. And I modeled that for the Shift Network by sending them our internal review. And they used to say, I remember about 20 years ago, I was in Tom Leahy's conference, John, that he puts on, and somebody was saying the future of business, of B2B relations, so that's really what we are kind of, is B2B, or sometimes we're the counselor, facilitator, is really vulnerable, completely transparency. So I was really transparent, sharing what I learned, what I did well, what I could have done better, magic highlights from the class. And of course, that's my point, is just, I think we overlook this step. It's easy to overlook it because you're finished with the gig and you're like, great, thanks for the check. But when we take that opportunity to step into something deeper for ourselves and for the client in that communication, and John's a great example of his upselling move that I never would have thought of, is like, can you recommend 3 places that might appreciate my services? That's a brilliant request. So any questions about this? Even getting testimonials, I mentioned, how do you get testimonials? So I just wanted to practice it myself. So yesterday I emailed an old colleague of mine who's quite famous that I never asked for a testimonial before, and he sent me a testimonial. I was just practicing what I'm teaching you. All I said to him was, hey, I'm redoing my page at the Shift Network. I want some real heavy hitter famous authors and speakers. You're at the top of my list. Can you give me a testimonial? Yeah. So it's John Kao who wrote The Business of Jamming. He's a Harvard prof and musician. What was it called? The art, something about, this tagline is what businessmen can learn from jazz musicians. Anyway, he's kind of more known in other fields than ours, like finances. But it was just having his name on there. I realized it's just a matter of making it short and sweet. And I even wrote, if you want an example of a testimonial, click here, here's the page. So these are things that, I should have been on that years ago when I worked for him, but I wasn't. But it's not too late to just grab that ball. And he's like, so good to hear from you. Thank you. So does this resonate with anybody? Okay. Yeah. Especially the art shots. We don't think enough about, oh, Lulu, what are you throwing over here at us?
These are the ones that you told me to do. I put them all on the people on the chairs. I did it with this one at one session, and it's been really valuable. And I will definitely get in touch with the people that did the conference.
John.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Great job.
Really well.
Great job. Anybody else? Comments or questions? Could everybody take a moment and think of one action step that has occurred to you in what I'm saying, and just pop it into the chat bar? One action step that you can, Lulu just gave us hers. And again, you don't type up every comment,
No.
Lulu.
No.
She's just going to go through, scan through like the top 5 or 7 or 10, like just no more than probably, what is a good reasonable number? 6 maybe?
Yeah.
At the Shift Network, that's their magic number. They do 6 testimonials. FYI. Yeah. Testimonials have been really shown to convert people. So yeah, just think of one action step you can take from this. Oh, great. That's great. Now you can also use, Survey Monkey. It's free. Yes, Carol, that's a brilliant idea. That really is brilliant. Or a photo, video file is awesome. Love that. This is also a test of your typing speed. And it's also getting us ideas from each other. Like, oh, I never thought of the video file. Great. That's really important. Upsell your workshop. Yep. Well, that's big news, Grace. Oh, yeah, that's right, John. You were telling me that you're going to get your clients to go do Google reviews. John, I'd love you to type in there, how you word that request. I'm curious how you handle that. So Grace, congratulations. I don't know if you guys saw her post. As of January, she's going to make the leap of faith and be the saving grace for them full time.
Yes.
It's a big moment.
Scary, but exciting.
It's great. And it's going to take a lot more than one client canceling to stop you from your dream.
Yes.
Yeah. That is awesome. It is really awesome. Thank you, John. Let's do a tag in also of what you guys did with your accountability. And before that, I did want to highlight Carol for a moment. Carol, I love your product. You're good at making videos. If I was you, I would have the grandson painting with you. Just recreate what happened to create that drum and film it. I mean, that's so moving when you say, hi, I'm here with my grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of you asked how to get your family drumming. Well, here's the first step.
I did take some still shots of because my granddaughter did one too. So I took still shots using portrait mode on my iPhone, which really does beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
And in fact, I sent them to Lulu. She saw them. So yeah, those were the 2 prototypes. I kind of worked out the bugs, and now I'm gonna do it again, and until I can get it down, till it's really ready to sell. And yeah, I think a video definitely will be the next move on that one with them.
Get them doing it. We want to see little moments of you making it while we hear your voice. So yeah, it's funny because sometimes you have to think of these things so ahead. It's really true when Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. To really prep ahead. Like I'm showing you how to take a Zoom photo. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or comments about these topics tonight? I really am convinced that internal marketing, although I've never really seen it used in that language, it's what I've always called it. And the closing the files process, for me, again, it's kind of metaphysical. It's like completion. Now I'm open. When things just drag along, or I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to thank those people. Like I'm really like, let's close it so that we can release it. Lulu dragged on with a project from, it's a good example, right? It drives you crazy. Do a video interview of a student who wrote a book through. Yes. Brilliant. Brilliant. That's a really good one. Yep. That's really good. Love that. We just have to think of where's she going to use that footage? How is it going to be filmed? You know, those kind of thoughts. But I really love that because that could be featured on Facebook or, you know, Instagram, and it's just a video interview. What was the biggest challenge? And don't make it about you helping them, but what was the biggest challenge you faced? Right, exactly. That's really smart because that's your target. The nice thing about your business is now that you're really targeting this, you know, your uniqueness in what you bring. And congratulations on getting your booking for your speaking gig in the New York City. You should tell people what you got.
This was actually in the LA one.
Oh, good.
It's the Los Angeles Expressive Arts Summit once a year. It happens in New York and LA. So I sent something last year, but I heard about it after the deadline. And anyhow, I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing, I think the title is Shamanic Breathwork, and the Ping kind of changed it. She said Castaneda inspired breathwork, and then it's a shamanic journey through breath. Nice. So I'm really excited about it. It's kind of organized me until that event because I really feel like doing weekly breath work. I just did some with writers. Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Do you want to share while you're here spotlighted on your any accountability that you said you would do last month?
Sure. I feel a little sheepish because I did not do a newsletter yet. I did that UCLA thing. I got connected with, there's a group called SPY, Safe Place for Youth in Venice. And somebody who used to be in this mastermind is the arts director there.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, go see Sarah Bemke. So it was like meeting a family member. It was like meeting somebody here. And she was like, yeah, come on over to the arts room. And I was like, I have all these writing things. And I had mentioned drum circle. I think I mentioned you. So she said drum circle. And I was like, I don't actually do those, although I took a training. And she kept, so I'm like, I'm taking the hint. And I have a friend who's a drummer. And I think we'll probably end up doing so. So I'll be consulting with some of you guys, like, you know, I don't know what their situation is with equipment and all that kind of, I know Kate Richards-Geller through Urban Voices has been there, so I'll talk to her also. But I just feel like that's a great opening to just get on the ground with a different community here. It's a really nice facility. They have a pretty strong fundraising. I'm sure I will meet people, lots of different types of people through this. So that'll probably start in a week, just like a couple of hours a week. I wrote down the other things.
But what was your barrier to getting your newsletter done?
Two barriers. One is just being busy with like book manuscript stuff to do. So I need to really be really strict about those marketing hours during the day.
Yeah.
The other one is I got vertigo for a solid week. I kind of hit, and I kind of hit a wall finally, and I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I started to resource some different things, and just it came around the same time as that UCLA thing. And I'm like, okay, everything's going in a different direction in terms of that, because that's overwhelmed to me and lost, you know, vertigo. So it's really hard to even answer email in that situation. And a barrier also is I did constant contact into my old job for a long time, and they decided it was outmoded. And I'm like, okay, so I need to learn something else. And it's like, for their needs, it was outmoded, not for mine. I already have the skills, just get in there and go, you know?
Awesome.
So I finally made that decision rather than I've got to do ConvertKit and I've got to tailor it to writer because it's different than Christine. It's like, I like pictures. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I did it for 3 years. It was my job, part of my job. So let's just do it. So.
Now, just a moment. That is a really good teaching moment for all of us. Yeah. That happens so much to me. We're creative people, right?
Right.
We come up with the most wild creative ideas, but they're not always as doable as the low-hanging fruit. And sometimes we just have to go, okay, yeah, Grace could animate her shakers, but you could also knock out a video tonight by just talking about them on Facebook Live, which will probably get you more traction. Honestly, this Facebook Live is awesome. Just turn your camera, talk about them. So, okay.
I love it. And you know, last time we met, I did a Facebook Live, and I did a couple of them, I think, and that really helped get me out there with my friends. And then I did this banner that I showed you. You know, from last time I was like, let the experts, I've paid for Canva every month, stop trying to reinvent the wheel and do my own graphics. I'm not a graphic artist. It takes me forever. So I just found this really nice design and plugged in my info, and I got 3 new subscribers.
That is the power of visual marketing right there. Give her some love.
And that was one posting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go to you. Who's next? Who wants to share next? Their accountability. Damon, go.
Hi, all right. So I committed to doing a video and inputting the rest of my notes, or at least a lot of them. I've got all these emails and the notes. I didn't do too many of the notes. I did a few. I did get a bunch of text to joins in some events I did in the past month. But I did do the video. I want to email it to you guys. Christine, can I do that? It came out really well.
Great. Great.
I promoted this event that Lauren and I did in Grand Junction, a yoga festival for suicide awareness. We did 2 events that weekend. So I'll send you. I'll just send the video to all you guys through our email, I guess. Or Christine, you can tell me how to do it. Also, the other thing is, I got a. Let's see if I can do this. Show you. Yes, I got the tripod.
Nice.
So that's what I got.
Good report. Give him some love. Who's next? John Crowder, you're next.
Mute myself. Hold on.
You're good.
I committed to get my emails inputted. I did not get that done. I'm disappointed. Honestly, I'm kind of burnt out on a lot of these things. I'm really tired of doing too much on my own and by my own. I've been focusing on trying to book the programs and take care of the programs. And this one canceled recently. It hurt. And so I've got to shift some kind of model here or something to work with more collaboration and work with people more. And because the way I'm doing it is not working. It's not working for me, and it's not good. It's not helpful. I do things to take care of myself and get out and do other things, but just from a work standpoint in the business, I'm burnt out on doing so much by myself. And I've been like that for a while, and something's got to give. It's got to change. So the things like getting the email stuff done, and these other things, I just don't have the energy for it. I don't have the energy to send out a newsletter, do more, sit on my computer, do more by myself. It's like I'm done with that. So I'm just and I'm not sure what the answer is with it yet. And I've mentioned to you before, I've got a little bit of ringing in my left ear, so I can't do as many programs, and I'm changing the instrument mix and stuff and having to go lighter on programs. So that's been a little frustrating too, in terms of what the business model is. But that's where I am. I'm here on the call. Didn't get it done, but that's the reality of it, and that's just the truth of it. So, oh-ho.
Anybody want to respond? I mean, I'm going to start because I've been saying to you for a long time, it's really worth having an admin person.
Yeah, but that's also a question of having the income or the revenue to support them. And so I have looked at that and considered that some, but
just not that. I'm just saying because today I had my helper here, and in 4 hours at $20 an hour. So what is that? $80 once a week. I mean, yeah, that could be high. And if you even had 2 hours, but I think if you could just hand someone those business cards and have them inputted, that's my feedback. I think for you, it's just learning without being on a full-time, bringing on a staff member. I think for you, it's just learning how to outsource, finding people to support you.
It's not just that. I really need to have some more collaboration where I'm working with a team and some people, and I'm just too isolated by myself. I'm too tired of booking a program, doing the vast majority of all for myself.
Yep.
Not having a team and some collaboration and that sort of stuff. I really am. I'm tired of it. So
thank you for sharing. Who can relate to this? Okay, Damon has got a comment. Go ahead, unmute.
Yeah, John,
Lights on.
I was feeling the same way. And that's why you guys have heard me start talking about this collaborative relationship I have with Lauren. She happens to also be my girlfriend, but she's a yoga teacher, and we've been creating events together, and it's just made such a huge difference for me to have somebody else to work with, because I do, even when I do my solo thing with Zen Drummer, it's truly solo. I use a looper. This is a looper. I can layer rhythms. So I've been doing it all myself for years, and having another person, it makes a huge difference. I get what you're saying. As far as the emails, I hired Lauren's daughter at $15 an hour to input a bunch of them. And that was a huge relief, just not to have to do that data entry. But even as far as creating events that are collaborative, we did both events in Grand Junction. Last year, I did the same festival, and I did it myself. This year, I had Lauren. We collaborated on creating a cacao ceremony drumming event, and on Sunday, we collaborated on creating a drumming with yoga guided meditation through the chakras. But I've been telling Lauren all the time, it makes such a difference to have another person to collaborate with. I tell her that every day. And then she's helping me send the emails out, and she's got a vested interest in it because she's collaborating with me. So I hear you. Just
get a girlfriend, John. No, I appreciate your comments. And I appreciate your comments, and that you have this sort of comparative experience. Like, here's where I was, and now I have this support, and you really value her and value that support. And I like Nai book joint programs. I just appreciate that you're sharing this with us.
Yeah.
I think that's really moving.
Yeah, honestly, there's also, honestly, just a little bit of shame of feeling like, geez, it's been a whole freaking month and I haven't got it done. And I'm just like, well, screw it. I'm just going to show up and tell them, just be where I am. Yeah. So, and I've worked and I've collaborated with other people in retreats and programs, but it needs to be something more consistent. And I've got yoga teacher friends and stuff I've worked with too. But there's got to be something more. It's got to be more consistent and collaborative, yeah. And then also the business model and with income involved too. And I hear you, Damon. I mean, I know the benefits of working with a person or two or three or something, and I'm putting it out there to people more and stuff. It just hadn't developed enough, and so I am where I am right now. A friend of mine, Cherie, for instance, Christine, she and I were just talking about exactly the same thing. But she's here, and she's a terrific, very dynamic drummer in person. And she was actually going to be on my team for this program that was coming up. But she's in Boulder in the summer and fall, and then she goes to Florida for the winter, and family and kids or parents to take care of. And so she's not here full time. And it's like, well, but is there a model, something to develop more? And I put this out there to people, and I've also told people and said, if you see opportunities through what I'm doing for you to be a part of it, for revenue opportunities, maybe to develop other programs, even with some movement or people I know who are dance teachers and things, I'm putting that out there with people. So to create something that's more collaborative. So we'll see. So yeah, but that's where I am.
I appreciate you. A lot of people are writing in the chat bar. You can look at the feedback you're getting there. And also, no shame. It's good you showed up. And just keep at that, because I do really feel like it's a big part of our sustainable business work, is maintaining a database and maintaining that communication. So no shame. Just get to parlay it to the next month. But I always say the numbers show up, because you do the math. You invest that $50 on that person who's $15 an hour to take that off your plate. and then you make 4,000 on a gig. I mean, it sort of usually it pays for itself, or even $100 gig that comes through taking that off your plate. You get to put your time in. You're just facing your time allocation stuff, John. You're just facing that isolation and the time allocation.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just give him some love. So I know it's getting a little late. I want to just buzz through the list of Carol's accountability.
I don't even remember what I said last. To be perfectly honest, I think I've done everything. I have all my clients in the database. I have started new drum circles, have started up, and I'm kind of back after a few months of complete burnout. And but I've because of my health, I've had to jump in slowly, and which is not like me. I'm usually all in, and so before I say yes, I have to go, wait a minute, do I really want to spend that time? And I don't want to get myself back to working 6 days a week. So yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning, but I definitely back. Well, I feel like I'm back in the game and now ready to work smarter, not harder.
That was what you committed to.
Okay,
you committed to finding a better pacing with your work. So congratulations. That's what you're working on.
Okay.
Naeed? Oh, we heard from you. Grace and Lulu. Grace. Yes, let's give her some love.
Hey, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
I wasn't on last month's call, but I had not gotten, I don't know, I think there was an emotional block for me in actually doing my website and getting myself online. I was a little afraid, I think, to do that. Even my eggs, I'm still a little, I don't know how I could mass produce them because it takes me an hour to make 6. And I don't know how to do that. So that makes me a little nervous, but I love doing them though, and I have a ton of fun doing them. So I'm just gonna keep doing it for now and see what happens. Because people want them, but I can't charge for them what it takes me to make them. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but we'll see. For now, I'm just gonna keep having fun.
Quick answer to that. There's a program here called nextdoor.com. And I got on there and I asked for anybody who had a high school junior or senior who needed volunteer hours or who needed, work hours, and $10, $12 an hour. You're paying more than Starbucks. So that's what I did.
Oh, I didn't.
And Carol has some suggestions.
Okay.
She's going to give you those later.
Okay.
And congratulations on stepping through that barrier and getting your website up. Big.
Yes, it was a big deal for me. And I wanted to have my logo, and I don't have my logo, and I don't have it digitized. I know exactly what I want and the way I want it, but I don't have it digitized yet. So that was, I think I wanted to have that before I did my website, but it actually doesn't need it. It's fine.
No,
I looks. Do my logo later.
You don't need a logo because you have the hero shot, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in web design, the top photo is this hero picture. You're good.
Yeah. So it was better than I thought, but I'm still I'm still a little nervous. I don't know what you guys did, how you transitioned into doing it full time, or how you, like, did you guys just have like a lot of savings that you had put aside for your business? Did you book a bazillion people and then hope that 10 of them keep their, I don't even know how you guys manage, and I should have asked these questions probably 8 months ago, but I didn't. So I have new questions. So I want to continue.
you can type your answers in the chat bar. Just, it would be really great to offer support to Grace. Those are really good questions. What I hear you asking is, how did you transition financially?
Yes.
Yeah. And how many people do you book? And we will continue to say contracts are great.
Yes.
Every Wednesday here, every this and this and this. John has a great example of 11 years of doing what, 2 times a month, John, at the rehab center at a major hospital. 11 years. You know, so those are one things that help us become sustainable, and you're stepping into the key products and services.
Mhm.
But you will have to find a way to manufacture those cheaper. And I'm very sure you will find that. And then people can write their answers to her question. These are really good questions. Let me finish checking with Lulu, and then if we have time, let's close with a little feedback for Grace. So that feels like it would work time-wise. Lulu, your
Okay.
goal was?
So I, I finally got some the contacts from my conference that I did a year and a half ago, and I had to pursue it and pursue it, and finally I got that and put that into my contact constant contact.
Yay!
It took a long time. Took forever, but anyway, I did that, and then I was really involved in this conference, overly involved. I just was way too anxious about it. So I've been busy doing that since since the last time, or before that too. So basically, that's what I haven't done a newsletter, but I will now. So I have a lot more to put into it.
Yes, your accountability is to get the newsletter out.
Yeah,
would be good. So we do have a little time, just if people want to respond to, congratulations, Lulu, on getting that database done. That was a big thing for you.
Yeah, it was hard.
Weighing on you for a long time, and now it's done.
And thank you.
Give her some love.
Thank you.
Did you do the inputting yourself, or did you hire someone?
No, I just got I finally got the PDF, and then it just went.
That's the Excel, yeah, got it.
Yeah, on Excel.
Okay. Anybody has something for Grace? Any support for Grace? Her questions are, how did you do the leap from perhaps the day job to the self-employed job? Maybe to narrow that in a little bit. What's one specific suggestion, lasered and focused, you could give Grace? And I say that just in the interest of time and just helping good communication. I'll kick it off with saying this. I learned to not panic when there was empty space on my calendar. Anybody else?
I made the mistake of thinking, yes, I'll put a lot of things out there and maybe I'll get half. And what happened is I got all of them. And and then I was working too much. So, and hurting myself. So you be careful with that.
Anybody else? These are really beautiful. I'm loving these. Go ahead.
I would say find a solid client that's like reliable, maybe a weekly client. Just like make it a goal. Like I'm going to get one client that's a weekly client that I can count on this much every week. And that helped me make the transition. My gig was I did sound and music for a yoga in the park event. And I think I was billing it like, I mean, I gave him an amazing deal. It was like $200, but I knew like every week, like I'm making $200, and it was like 4 months at $200 a week. And then I ended up doing that like 3 years in a row. But that was having that regular weekly thing was a good, so okay, I know I got this.
Yep. Thank you. Anybody else?
Getting recommendations from the one person that you do to, like recommend you to somebody else. I mean, I've never been able to, because where I am, I'm like out in the hinterland. Nobody's doing what I do. So I'm the only person doing it. It's tough to, say, you're still doing that drumming thing. And,
I get that too.
Yes, as a matter of fact, now I go, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. And a lot of evidence, and, I mean, it's really, really hard to get, people don't get it. It's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think getting, a couple of people that I did, I said, well, I need to grow my business, and can you give me some recommendations? Can you recommend me to other people?
That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
That's good.
Okay.
I'll say one thing.
Yep.
Can I go? Oh,
John goes and then Nai. Go ahead, John.
I'll second what Damon said about the steadiness. The Drug and Rehab Center at the University of Colorado Hospital, that was a steady program every 2 weeks. And so that definitely helped. I would also consider, find the places and the spaces that you're really most called to serve, and propose to them doing a demo program, 20 to 30 minute demo program. We originally did that with the Drug and Rehab Center, and that's when they got it.
Oh,
That's how they experienced it, and then the counselors and everybody really got it. So that's a real helpful piece.
Good idea.
To doing that. So
Nai?
I just notice, like, part of what I do is, teach writing, and there's a meditation and movement element. When I'm doing those things, or really, really in the zone on any one of those three, people start finding me, sometimes out of nowhere, or just with a little bit of marketing, versus when I'm all on, trying to get it to happen. Sometimes that stepping back helps a lot.
Nice. I would say take the anxiety and turn it into, flip it. The lemons and the lemonade that we started the call with is, I would say, take the anxiety and make it into a ta-da. Like, here's my next newsletter, and it's going to be all about my website's up, and I'm going for it. And we're available now. Turn it from any kind of fear, which is very normal. Really, you're making a huge commitment, and I applaud you. And all of us on this call have done that job, done that leap, right? Everybody on this call has done that leap, and now you're in with us. So I hope we affected you in that good way.
Yes.
Because you did it. And not that it's bad to do either. It's just to say that you're making this choice. And turn it from fear to ta-da. Oh my God, I'm going for it. Let the voice be, I did it, I accomplished it, I'm going for it, instead of what if. Best case scenario thinking. I loved, you could put so much out there, you have too much work. What a great thought. Just blew my mind.
I would like that.
If you hold that energy and you put it out there in the transmitting of the Facebook, on the social media, on the newsletter, the drum circle list, wherever it is, here I am, I'm available, and you don't know who knows who. So these are great suggestions. I love the suggestion of ask for referrals from Lulu. That's really, and the demos from John and Damon's suggestion too. I mean, these are all great ideas, and like you've all pointed out really important things. That was exactly a mastermind moment, guys.
My thought was, and I don't know if we have time for me, but I keep getting downloads of when I'm thinking about it and asking the universe for different answers. I keep getting downloaded with different workshops. So what I'm going to do is a 6-week program starting in January for women, because that's my niche. I want to work with women. And so I want to do New Year, love you, instead of New Year, new you. I want to teach women to radically love themselves, but through drumming and through that sort of thing. So that's one of the things that I'm going to put out there. And then I'm going to do a group for seniors. So those are my thoughts for my beginning anyways.
Hold up the love yourself shaker face and then go like, on your little video invite on Facebook, it's like, you can love yourself. But, just get a little bit practice on camera then. Because when you're doing a marketing of a series, you want to have a promotional video. I want to tell you about what you're going to learn in the class, what's, with a great title. You have already your need, your platform, your hook, we call it. Instead of the New Year's this year where you beat yourself up and have to change 100 things, let's do the love myself practice year. Mm-hmm. That's great. Great theme. Great target. And then you just look for the places where that audience is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everybody said is really true with the series too. When you offer a free opening sample and then you sign people up at the free kickoff, it really makes a difference. We're going to be starting in January. December 10th, we're doing the free gathering. So you guys can experience it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even in January, but that kind of a free event, gathering people, kicking it off. a little taster, that really helps. Okay. Was this a good call?
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited to talk about internal marketing because I realized we haven't really dove into all the steps that go into that and how critical that is for our sustainable business, which is what our whole overarching theme is right now in our mastermind, is how do we build a sustainable business? So if you would like to continue next month, raise your hand. Okay, that's good. That's just fine. So I'm up for meeting again. So if anybody wants to do another month, it does kind of feel like it would help complete it. So, all right, well, I'll email you and we can figure that out. In the meantime, thank you so much. One word, what you're taking with you from today. I just go down the line and unmute everybody. Just unmute yourself. And one word of what you're taking with you from today.
Inspiration.
Okay.
Enthusiasm.
Excitement.
Confidence.
Lemons to lemonade.
Support.
You got it, John.
My word is paint your drum.
Yeah.
That was inspiring that you've created that whole product kit.
Mm.
Really inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you.
All of you doing great things. This was a very inspiring call, and also we're being very vulnerable on these calls and transparent with what's challenging, and that's how we learn. We have to hit a wall to transform. Yeah, if you haven't hit that burnout, you know, that's when you start to learn better practices in life.
True.
And I know all about that. So I'll see some of you in a month, and everybody else, if you couldn't accomplish it for whatever reason this month, try to keep yourself accountable to that goal, because it is part of your sustainable work in the world. Okay.
Thank
Happy
you.
drumming.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
I
Thank
love
you so much.
the conversation about how to make the videos about our products. That was really fun. Bye.